welcome to Cruise No Kayfabe. I'm Mongo.
I'm Emily.
And today we are joined by a very special guest, the Spark, Jada Stone, who you may know from many promotions such as DPW, GCW, AEW, just recently AAA, NWA, New Japan, TNA, and OVW. You've been everywhere, so thank you so much for coming on our show and gracing us with your presence.
Thank you. Thank you. It's crazy when you actually say all those things because I didn't even realize that it's been that many. Crazy.
In what, like 3 years?
Yeah, I'm about to hit 3 years on Halloween. So, yes.
That's incredible. You really should be proud of that. That's a huge, milestone. 3 years and easily, 20 companies, probably.
So crazy.
You made Netflix before WWE did.
I'm just saying. OVW.
Absolutely. So I guess what we always kind of like to start out with is what inspired you to get into wrestling, or what inspired you to, start your career or start training?
Yes. So I actually started because I have an older brother. And at the time, he was obsessed with wrestling. And I think I got put on punishment for something. So, my mom was like, no TV. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So my brother was being annoying. And he knew, I didn't like wrestling or I'd want to watch anything other than wrestling. So he put it on purpose. And I remember one day I just got stuck watching it all day. And then I looked up and I was like, wait, I'm not going to lie. This stuff is actually kind of cool. And I actually think I can do this. They're like superstars and they made me feel some type of way. And that's kind of like how I want to feel, they made me feel like I could do whatever I wanted. And I feel like you're like a superhero if you can do that to anybody. So from there, I was like a fan. I studied it. And then I started going to shows. Then I started going to different indie local shows around me. And then I first got my driver's license and I first had my job at Chick-fil-A. I finally got enrolled in training school, and it was when I was 16. So yeah, it's been a little ride. And then from there, the rest is history.
That's awesome. Also, first of all, since you worked at Chick-fil-A, because I got to discover, we moved to North Carolina from New England, so I got to discover the greatness that is Chick-fil-A. So that warms my heart too, because I'm like, it's so good.
Love it.
That and Cheerwine, I've discovered. Cheerwine's been legit.
I want to know, did you have were you already in cheerleading when you discovered wrestling with your brother?
I was. So it's crazy because I've always been my dad used to call me Cartwheel because at 3 years old I was just cartwheeling around, and they're like, she has so much energy, she needs to be in something. So I originally was in softball when I actually started watching wrestling, or I guess when I fell in love with wrestling. And then from there, then I transferred to cheer, and that was in 5th grade when I transferred to cheer. So it was actually softball at first, but then I was like, I want to learn how to flip. And then my parents were like, you should do cheer or something, because I always thought gymnastics was too hard because they have so many different things they have to do. But I like the tumbling aspect of it. And I like to, go up in the air and cheer and then come back down and, have little performances or whatever. Because in cheer, I also traveled the world because we had competitions all over. So even before wrestling, I've been traveling the world. So being on airplanes or being in cars for a long time, never really bothered me because of cheer and softball tournaments. So thanks to
that's
sports.
Good.
No, and that's awesome. And I love that you've translated cheer into your style and the athleticism.
Yeah.
We were talking because we actually saw you, a couple weeks ago at DPW, and we were talking about just how you move in the ring. When you do the double back handspring into the spark stunner, I pop every single time because it just looks so cool. Or when you do the head scissors takeover, Emily loves it every time. When you do the back handspring to the head scissors takeover.
I can't even do a backflip unless there's a trampoline involved. I never learned how to cartwheel and I'm 34. It is sad. I hate it. But at the same time, I think that's why I enjoy wrestling, especially today's style of wrestling. I think it's just so enjoyable because you get to see somebody do things that they wouldn't have done 20 years ago. And it's maybe that's why I didn't watch 20 years ago, but
Right.
It's just
everybody's
fun.
like creativity is just like growing and growing, and it makes wrestling better because I feel like I'm always trying to get better. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay, how can I top that? And then other people want to top that, and then that's how wrestling just grows as a whole.
Yeah, the competitive, but good competitive.
Yes, good competitive. Emphasize on the good.
Yes, because
There's a lot of
I feel
bad.
like you grow together.
Yes, good.
Do you have any influences, or is anyone that you gravitated to when you were training or when you were first breaking in? Like, I really like that style, or I really like that person.
Yeah, so I feel like when I first started watching wrestling, I'm not even gonna lie, like I knew like there were different styles, but I wasn't like aware of like what that actually meant. I knew like some people would be like bounce you on the ropes, and then I know some people would just do like more grappling style, and then I know some people would just, you know, be more character and different stuff, but I never really knew like the specifics. But I feel like when I first like started being a fan, like my all two time favorite, I always say, is Bayley and Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Monet. But I like Bayley because I just feel like she was like a good technical wrestler, and I feel like she didn't have to be like, she didn't like put on this sexy look, and you know, like she was a little tomboy. She was herself. She wasn't scared to be herself. And like now, it's like everybody in the locker room talks about Bayley, and she's not
Yeah.
like hot, you know, what wrestling used to be back in the day. And I feel like she's just so authentic, and I love that about her. So that's why I gravitated to her. And then like as far as like Mercedes and or you know Sasha Banks or whatever, she's just so confident, and like she, like you can tell she's the boss. Like nobody can tell like her like she's not the boss. The way she walks, the way she talks is just so gravitating, and whether you like her or you hate her, you can't tell her like she's not a star. And then her wrestling is just top tier. So those were like my top two, and they still are. But
That's
and then
awesome.
Trinity, you know, you can't forget about Trinity.
Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to be in Orlando when she won the title, and I just remember the place went crazy for her, and
Oh my gosh, and that's hometown.
love it. I know it. I love those cheesy. I'm that person, like people make fun of me all the time, but like I love those cheesy moments. I love those because that's what I think connects to you as a fan. Is
I'm the crier. I admit it. It's
the
totally
emotional.
fine.
Yeah, it's like so emotional.
So I'm glad you mentioned Bayley because I wanted to put, because Emily pointed out had forgotten, but the WrestleMania 40 press conference, she was wearing your shirt and she was talking about you.
No,
what was that like for you?
I was shook. I literally was shook, but it's crazy because I always say like everything happens for a reason, because Bayley had a meet and greet that Thursday. It was for Mania weekend, and I was down there, you know, doing my indie shows or whatnot. But I didn't get a ticket because it already sold out. I wanted one, but then I was like, you know, I got to save my money for this flight here. I got to, you know, get around Philly. You know, us indie little workers got to save our money. So I was like, you know what? I don't have $200 extra to spend right now, but that sucks. And then this fan actually like messaged me. It was like, hey, like I have another Bayley ticket if you want to meet her or whatever. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, yes, I want to meet her, because it's crazy because I would have, like, my show that day was early too, so I could have made Bayley's like meet and greet. So everything like aligned, and then I ended up giving her my shirt. She already knew who I was, which was crazy because I didn't realize that she like actually knew that girl was me. And then we talked for a little bit, and then Sunday she won Mania. I'm sitting here freaking out that she won Mania, putting her over like crazy, and then she comes out wearing my shirt, and then I was just insane. That's just crazy. Like she won Mania, won a whole title, literally the biggest Mania of her career so far, with a great match with Eos. God, may I add? And then she wore my shirt. And she was wearing my shirt like the whole time, and she put me over, and I feel like that's really cool. But I also feel like that means we have to have a match, and then you know, it'll be a good storyline. So
yeah, you know, I know Cody's got his story, but now you got to finish your story.
Exactly.
WrestleMania next year. It needs to get booked.
Thank you. I'm ready. I'm ready now. I think I'm ready.
And you know, Vegas is the land of neon, and so you know what neon made is? Sparks take it to cause it to go. So what's neon without some sparks?
Hello.
We're here for it.
Everybody loves Las Vegas. Vegas is going to be so crazy next, like insane.
I know it's.
Do you have like promotions that you're hoping to work for that week?
GCW again. I hope. My friend is running a promotion called Let Wrestling Live. Nadia Hunter. She's down in North Carolina as well. So hopefully that one as well. Future Stars, that's down in Vegas already. And then I'll probably do All Caribbean Wrestling again. I'll probably, hopefully I'll put my little flyer out there, reach out to some promotions, and hope that I'm booked and busy, because last Mania I had 1 booking, and then this past Mania I had 5. So I went up tremendously. So hopefully this year it's even times 5. So
that would, honestly, there was somebody one year that probably Matt Cardona, but I was like amazed watching how many promotions they went to in 1 week. And I was like, that's incredible. Like, that is such a hard work ethic too. Like, you guys really put in the work.
Yes. Crazy.
And you can definitely tell, Emily's a big fan of Cage Match, to, look up matches to watch on YouTube and look up different things. And I was looking, at it recently, and I noticed your matches have really grown exponentially since you started. So you're definitely putting the work too, and that's awesome. And
I hope so. I was about to say, okay. I was about to say.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay. I was about to say, I know I might have had some slip ups here and there, but overall, is it decent? Okay.
No,
there was not a shortage of content. Like, I just put your name in YouTube and everything just flooded. And I was like, I'm so happy for her. Like, it makes my heart so happy to see, like, it's only been 3 years. Like, that's huge. You have all these places under your belt already. Like, I can't emphasize enough how huge that is.
Thank you.
So I guess
with the names.
With that being said, do you have any favorite people you've worked with training wise, or even in a match? Like, is there some of your favorites? I know I definitely looked at a long list, so I'm sure it's going to be hard to pick. But who are some of your favorites?
I mean, I trained with Mercedes Moné before, aka Sasha, so that was pretty fucking lit. Sorry for my language.
Oh no, absolutely.
It was just so lit. Like, and mind you, I didn't even know she was coming, so it just shook me. But I feel like that'll always be my favorite, so far, until I get to wrestle her. But I really love wrestling Shoko Nakajima. Like, that was so fun. I loved wrestling Su Yung. I love wrestling Kiera Hogan. I've loved wrestling Queen Aminata. I've loved wrestling with Mayu Iwatani from Stardom, Konami from Stardom. I've had some fun, fair names. And then I love wrestling, like, some local indies. You got Maya World, you got Zara Zacher, you got Vert Vixen, you got Hyan, you got Promise Braxton, amazing Promise Braxton. Love her. You just have like Gigi Ray. You just have like all of these great women popping out, and so it keeps me on my toes. I'm not gonna lie. I love people or women trying to just help each other grow. So yeah, anybody who I just listed, but I'm ready to take on anybody. So really, I want any and everybody. But those are some of my favorites.
No, I love that attitude, and I'm glad you mentioned Mayu, because I saw a video last week, and it just happened to come up on timeline from April, where she wants you to go to Stardom with her, and I think that's fantastic. Like, where you guys were talking, you guys had a tag team match and you had won back in April, and she was putting you over and telling you, like, oh, I want you to go to Stardom. And I say, like, that'd be so amazing. I mean, just the fact that she's wrestling for the top prize in Stardom right now, and there she is 3 months ago saying, or sorry, 6 months ago, wow, time flies, go to Stardom. So I think that'd be amazing. And I think seeing who you've worked with, like Aja Kong, like seeing all these people, it blows my mind.
Aja, she's so great. And it was such an honor to work with Aja Kong too. I wish next time I have to wrestle her. We were only tag partners that time, but hopefully I get to work with her next time and figure out, wrestle a legend, because she's so cool. She's so cool. But the Spark will be in Japan soon, so
awesome.
We're just gonna have to fingers crossed, and we'll stay hopeful.
Absolutely. No, I hope to see you coming to Stardom, because I will get up early in the morning to watch that with Emily, because we absolutely love it. And she really opened my eyes. I've always been a fan of wrestling, and I was never the typical male fan. I loved all wrestling. So I was, a fan of like the Litas and the Trish Stratuses and the Ivories and so seeing the real women's revolution now, especially on the indies with YouTube, it's just great to see all these different styles, and the fact that you can adapt to all these styles. That's such a testament.
I got to change his mind because I found wrestling through Total Divas. So I got to like show him, no, that's the Bellas. Like that is incredible. That's Paige. That's Paige. Like this girl right here, money. Love her. And like
I love her.
So he got to learn a little different side of everybody because obviously he wasn't gonna watch Total Divas, and I know a lot of it's for the show, but it's still
I loved it. I was
Trinity
it every single week. What was it on Tuesdays? Yes, every
yep.
Yeah, I was there.
That's amazing.
I used to be a big Bella. I actually like when I first started watching Bella, like wrestling, like the Bella Twins and Alicia Fox and Tamina and all of those. That was my era when I first came in, and Paige was killing it. It was crazy. But now, like wrestling has changed even since then. And that's only been a couple of years. So I wonder where it's going to be in like 5 years.
I know it's wild to think about how, like you said, you can go from like, you know, the Bellas being on top and Trinity being on top, and you know Bayley just kind of coming out from NXT, and now like you said, Bayley's winning the title at WrestleMania. Mercedes is in a whole nother company wrestling in Japan. It's like I never thought I'd see that 3 years ago, and like you said, what's going to be like next year?
And then like now you have WWE combining with TNA, NXT TNA. Like it's so much craziness going on. Then AJ Styles just went to freaking Noah like a couple of months ago. Like what? AJ freaking Styles just
right.
Gets to Japan. So it's crazy and so cool how like wrestling is changing, and it gives me hope for the future.
No, and I love there's so many ways to watch it now, so it can give opportunities to people. So it's not just, there's one place or one promotion that puts you on TV. You can be on YouTube and still get millions of hits. So you can be on Instagram Live, and I've seen GCW get 100,000 hits on a random YouTube clip. Or I used to watch fantastic.
Wrestling through Instagram. No shame. I watched like one time I was like flipping through because I basically just follow wrestling, and Delmy XO was like live and she was doing commentary from the sidelines, and I was like, this needs to happen more. Delmy on commentary. Like she was crushing it. It was so funny. She wasn't actually commentary, it was just for her, but it was great.
No. So what are some of your favorite I guess matches that you've had with like that really I guess taught you more about the business? Like is there a match that really stands out with you that match really helped me do this or helped me do that?
Yeah. Sorry. I have a couple of matches that stand out to me, like some for good, some for bad, but I feel like they're all for good because when I watch myself do stuff that I absolutely hate, I never do it again. And I feel like sometimes that's what we need. Sometimes we have to embarrass ourselves to get better. But when I think about like some of the bad, I think of when I faced Queen Aminata. One thing I wish I could change in that match was I love the match. And I had fun, but my strikes weren't strong at all. And I feel like to me, that's the only thing I can notice. So from there, and Queen Aminata made me look so bad because her strikes are so good. So I was like, oh, I was like, I didn't like the way that looked. And so like, just for myself, since, I can be whoever I want in the ring, I want to make my strikes more crisp. So ever since then, I've been cleaning up my strikes. And then just like learning different strikes, because I feel like women, if a woman has a good strike, like I feel like it makes the room stop and stare and goes like, oh, that was good, or oh, she really got him, and wrestling is real, so I want to make it look like that. But other good matches I've had was my match with Kiera Hogan. I was actually losing my spark, and then having that match with her, she calls herself the Flame. So I feel like she really helped my spark grow. And that's what I needed at the time. So I had fun with her. And then my match with Shoko, she's just really good at technical wrestling. And I actually live out in LA now, so it's 4-something here. But I moved out to LA to train with the New Japan Dojo to work more on my grappling and technical style, because I can be a high flyer. I can do this bounce off the ropes and do all these cool flips. Yes. I have character here and there. Yes. But is my wrestling good? Can I wrestle with the best? And with that being said, when I trained with Mercedes, I felt like my technical wrestling was not as good as I would like it to be. And that's okay, because she's been wrestling for however many years. She's going to be better than me in all aspects, but I just felt like I could have done better. She's great. She didn't say anything. I'm just letting everybody know she didn't say anything. Me, it's just me. So from there, I really started focusing on that. And then my Shoko Nakajima match, I felt like I was more confident with the technical side of wrestling, and none of that was called either. So the fact that I did it and it was just that, I was like, okay, growth. So it's all about growth.
The fact that you're your own harshest critic, though, because when you're in the ring, you gravitate so much energy to you that doesn't show, because everything that you're doing is just amplified.
No, it's definitely it's electric.
Crazy.
And
I love that. I love that I don't show it.
And I will tell you, though, Emily screamed so hard when we went to DPO, because we obviously didn't know you were going to be on the car, due to travel issues. We know it was a surprise. And when you burst through the curtain, if you go back and you watch it, I think we're like second row on the hard cam side, you can see her jump out of her chair and go, Jada! It was the greatest thing.
I was so excited.
It was so crazy. I think I told you guys, but I was like, I haven't been to DPW in so long. Hopefully they remember me. Hopefully they cheer for me. And then when you guys
you had the whole place. It was insane. Like, you didn't skip a beat.
I had so much energy. I couldn't even. I was just so excited to be back. But you guys, so dope, so dope. DPW will always be one of my favorite places to wrestle. No, like, matter how often or how little I wrestled there. So thank you guys.
Our first show, we heard, what is it? This shit fucks.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I was like,
oh my gosh.
I was like, it's their chant. It does.
And now we're doing it.
Right.
Yeah, because you got my lot.
That chant. When I get that chant, I know that everything's good.
Yeah.
No, I just love it because obviously we didn't get to see the Queen Aminata match live, but we got to see when you and Max and Heidi and Rachel, when you guys had your tag team match, and then obviously Rachel betrayed you. You guys had the 3-way match the following week or following month. Mm-hmm. That was just such a fun series, because we were like, oh wow, they're telling a story from show to show. This isn't just like a random match thrown together. Not that there's anything wrong with that either, but so we were more invested. We're like, oh, Jada's gonna wrestle, so it really works, because we're like, oh, we wanted to see you get your payback on Rachel. So I just like that you guys are so good at that subtle storytelling with each other. You guys had such good chemistry.
Yes, and Rachel was so dope too. And then I went to Texas and I beat her butt in Texas too.
Yes.
In her home.
Yeah. So
I just think it's wild. So you flew across country to do that, and then you were just in Mexico for AAA. Like, what was it like going down to Mexico and wrestling in that historic area?
Insane. So it's crazy because I was literally called that day, and I was told like, hey, we've had a call out. We need you to come if you're available, AAA. And I was like, oh, I'm down. Let me know when, whatever. So I handled everything, made sure I got everything ready, and then I was in Mexico. And then it was like a tag match. But it was 4 different tag teams in the match. So it was a lot of craziness going around, not gonna lie. I got there, like, the show started at 8:30. I got there at 9:00. We went on at 9:20. 9:20. Wow. So I'm literally getting dressed. Mind you, all of them speak Spanish. There's this one girl named Kitsune. Thank God for her, who speaks Spanish and English, who helped me translate. But I remember being so stressed, and I was like, oh my God, this is my debut. I'm going to do so bad. I was stressing, and they were like, but I thought I was stressing because they were like, you're so calm. You calm. And I was like, am I? Because in my head, I'm freaking out. But they were so easy to work with. They were so easy to follow. And I was there for everything I needed to do. And then the crowd, it was like 3,000 people in there. So like, that's the biggest arena I've ever performed in front of. So that was a big deal to me, especially like being my debut match. And then I'm coming back. I can't tell you guys when yet, But so I impressed, and I'm coming back, and that's good.
That's awesome.
That's huge.
No, that's awesome, especially with the the rich luchador history and how they've they put their matches together.
So strict. Like they don't just let anybody just come in there. Like it's so crazy. So the fact that they even like said that I was, okay enough to even fill the spot was just such an honor and dream come true. Because AAA, like that's always been a dream of mine, but it hasn't been on the forefront of my mind just because like I'm not a luchador, or I don't speak Spanish, or I don't look like them. But everything happens for a reason, and wrestling is all about making opportunities, and I feel like that's what I did. I made the most of my opportunity, and as long as you don't have to do a whole bunch of lucha moves, as long as you do what you do good and you get over with the fans, and you're good. You're good. You don't have to do all these moves and crazy stuff. So it was fun.
I'm so excited that you get to go back, and you said your goal is Japan. So I guess that'll be kind of my next question. So what kind of future goals do you have? We talked about, finishing the story of Bayley, finishing with Mercedes, going to Stardom. What other kind of goals does Jada have for the future?
Yeah. I want to make my name known worldwide. I feel like that's my number one goal right now. So I've wrestled in Canada. I wrestled in the US, obviously. I wrestled in Jamaica. I'm about to wrestle in the Bahamas. Mexico, I just did Mexico. Japan, I'm trying to go to Japan ASAP soon. So hopefully something with that comes up. But promotions that I'd want to be on for Japan at least is really all of them. But my top two, I guess I would have to say, is TJPW and then Stardom.
You would fit in so well.
I top two for sure. So I'm like one of the two. Marvelous is dope too. There's just so many great promotions. But then if it's not Japan, I mean, obviously WWE is the goal for me. Yeah, so hopefully WWE soon too. We'll see.
I know, like you said, with the TNA partnership, and I know you wrestled Ash by Elegance and Alicia Edwards over on TNA. Who knows? Maybe they can bring NXT, and you want to talk about some change in the game. They have Delta coming in. They have Julia, Stephanie Vacor. That would be that has to be a goal, and how fun to mix it up.
Stephanie, it's funny because me and Stephanie were actually talking about having a match. Like we were messaging about having a match before she got signed, and then she got signed, and then all bets are at the table. So maybe that match is just still brewing to happen. Just maybe it's gonna have to happen at NXT. So I have to get there first. But Japan is on my mind first, and then once I get to Japan, then I'm coming back to the States and WWE or really anywhere who wants me, not just WWE. I want to go to TNA, AEW, wherever. I just want to get signed. But goal of mine, little Jada, 7-year-old, would be happy for WWE just because that's always been my goal.
No, absolutely.
It's not uncommon. I think the cool thing for young, like very young fans, like our son is 10 and he wants to be a professional wrestler. And there's not just WrestleMania anymore. Like the big thing isn't just like, not that that's not the biggest, but like you have All In, you have Double or Nothing, you have these other big shows that kids can look at and be like, I want to do that.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's really exciting for the young generation because obviously, we all did grow up with WWE.
So many different places to go, and that's why I feel like this generation of wrestling is the best because you don't just have to go to WWE. You could New Japan. You can go to New Japan if you just want to do Japan. You can do Mexico, like AAA. You can literally do whatever you want. You could do TNA and NXT at the same time. Hell, you could do whatever. You can do whatever in wrestling. So I think it's really cool for this generation if we, all get our minds right and help each other get to the top.
No, and I love that. I love the positive attitude you have towards it because, as fans, watching it, it's nice to see the realism of everyone else put their best in it, put their energy in, and I think that's what's always drawn us to you is your energy is so real when you're in the ring, whether you're hit your finish or whether you're working and whether you're hitting that crazy spark stunner, which I still every time I see him, just like, holy crap, you're so fast with it and just so fluid. And all I could think of was, I'm like, if I landed that wrong, I wouldn't be able to walk for 3 weeks. And
Oh my goodness.
she's getting thrown out of the ring and she's fine. I don't know if you want to teach me. I'm not very coordinated. I'm pretty clumsy.
That's fair. All right.
He went to take a bump for a photo op and like bruised his rib.
No, I broke a rib. I tried to be funny and do like the little flare front face bump that he does for a ring. My flip flop got caught in the canvas, so I wasn't able to so I tried to turn myself, but I stupidly turned myself, landing on my rib. So instead,
the pictures came out great.
Yep. Just had to, hold my ribs the entire rest of the weekend on a cruise, trying not to die.
Please be careful.
Right. So, do you have any future events coming up that you want to? I know you said you can't talk about AAA, but any future events that you want to plug or that you kind of want to bring up? Any future dates that you have booked?
Is this going? I'm trying to think. What do I have? So this weekend I have 2 shows in LA. These are just local shows, some lucha shows. So these aren't really too special. But next week, the 12th, I will be at Reality Wrestling Booker T School defending my title with my tag team partner, Maya World. So that should be fun. So if anybody's in the Texas area, come see Booker T's promotion, Reality Wrestling. It's really, really fun. And then the following week after that, I will be in Bahamas, wrestling in the Bahamas. So that should be fun. So more pictures and stuff to come from that. So right now I just have Texas, and then the following weekend I have Bahamas. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you get to go wrestle in the Bahamas and
and
then just kind of chill out on the beach after.
Yeah, it's like we have 4 days, and then we have to set up one day, and then the show the other. So it's we have 2 free days to just do whatever. It's free, so I'm never gonna deny a free trip. But it'll be an honor to be able to wrestle in the Bahamas as well.
That's really cool.
That's so cool. I didn't even know they had wrestling in the Bahamas. When we take the cruise, we went down to the Bahamas multiple times, different parts of the island, and didn't know there was wrestling. That would have been cool to try to find.
Right?
I mean, we did find it, but it was AEW Dynamite.
Yeah. Well, I meant local wrestling.
Yes.
I always want to see the local indies or local shows, just because, like you, Jada, I like seeing people who will go out there and put, their passion. It doesn't matter if there's one person in the crowd, if there's 100,000 people in the crowd, they'll go out there and do their best. And I love it because I think that's what entertaining is to me, is going out there, watching a show that it's family friendly, it's fun, and then afterwards you just go, holy crap, that was fun. That was so entertaining. Let's watch that again. And I love that you've always had that performer mindset.
Yeah, and it means a lot to us too, because the fans that started with me since the beginning, I remember. So if I ever, I hope so, I pray to God every day that I make it. So if I ever make it to the top, it's I'm gonna remember the people who rode with us when we had nothing, and that means a lot to us too, because we wouldn't have been, we would be nobody if it wasn't for you guys supporting and actually following us and doing these podcasts, because these take time just as much from us as you guys. So we appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys. So
no, thank you. We definitely appreciate the time today and loved hearing your story, and we'll get this up quick on YouTube so that way we can get your match announcements out. And I think Emily has another question before I wrap up for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Dez up in Canada, and I know he listens. He does book TAW.
Oh yeah, Totally Arctic Wrestling. It's up in Nunavik.
Way up.
I'm down. Oh my gosh.
I'll have to tell Dez.
I'm just saying, it would be another milestone.
That would be fire. That would be fire. The only place that I've been at was Destiny in Canada. So if you guys heard of that.
I have heard of Destiny. That's pretty cool that you get to go. That's a lot of famous people have gone through that. A lot of who's who have gone through that. So that's pretty cool.
Crazy.
That's so awesome.
And you said that you are at Booker T's. I didn't realize that was Booker T's school. So you've got Roxanne Perez and NXT killing it. I think now she's on the main roster going too.
So good. That's my dream. I'm because when you walk in, we have all the posters of everybody. There's AQA, there's Athena, there's Roxanne, there's all of there's the Uso brothers. There's all these amazing talent. I'm like, that's my goal. Like, I need to have my poster hanging up on Booker T's wall. Like, that has to happen because Booker T is a legend and Hall of Famer himself. So it'll just be such an honor within itself. So,
and you had Al Snow.
Yeah, and you're photogenic as hell, so that poster is going to look really good. So I mean,
Al Snow, yes, Al Snow too. Love him.
There was like our son used to watch all the old school DVDs, and there was a night I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, why do I hear Al Snow? And he was just like watching him commentate a DVD, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty awesome. Like, I already liked Al Snow because I did remember seeing him when I was a kid, but I didn't watch wrestling that much then. Yeah. And I feel like he's definitely somebody pretty prestigious in the wrestling world to be able to work with.
Yes, and he's just so creative. Like, he doesn't have to do anything and he gets over. And for me, that's what I want to start learning how to do. Because I mean, when I first got into the business, it was like, I have to do this, and this. And if I don't do this, the fans is going to hate me. But it's like, now I'm just going to be myself because that's what they like. And that's, what you guys stick to. Like, you guys can like see who's authentic and who's not. So I'd rather be myself. And if you don't like me, I'm probably going to cry, but it's okay. But at least if you do like me, it's because it's actually me. And I feel like that's kind of what Al taught me. And he taught me how to work the cameras and just the life of being a superstar. Like, I have to treat myself like a superstar because at the end of the day, we're all superstars, So he's taught me a lot about like that side of the business. So shout out to Al.
No, absolutely. Then I want to thank you again for your time tonight, and excited to post this up for everyone. Please make sure you go follow Jada on all of her socials. Go check her out at some shows. She's everywhere. She's the Jill of all trades. You're all over the world, soon to be in Japan, NXT, winning titles all over the world. So make sure you follow her now so you can say I was there for the whole time.
Thank you.
Definitely, like, you should definitely vlog your Japan experience when you do go.
Ooh.
I think I know that's how I found a lot of Mariah May. She did a lot of content creating while she was over there. Just saying. I'd watch it.
That's all I need.
You got one.
Right. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening today. Again, make sure you go follow Jada. Until next time, always keep the kayfabe.